Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the cryptocurrency market today as the Bitcoin bulls are fighting the bears for the 200-day moving average right now on the daily chart, sitting right at that $40,000 big even. And notice here how the weekly open was sitting right at our major support that we've had drawn out on our chart for those tuned into the Snipers channel for the last 90 days, right at that $34,800 level. And this is not a coincidence that the weekly open is right here at this major support area. And we could even potentially make a case right now that we do have a potential inverse head and shoulder pattern forming, and that would take us towards this previous weekly open above 40,000 US dollars, which we all know we need to get above 40,000 where we have the 200-day moving average in order to assume a successful rescue operation for Bitcoin, not to see further downside below 35,000, because if we break this weekly open at 35,000, that opens the door to 24,000 US dollars. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin's price, but more importantly, we look at what's happening to Ethereum. Notice here how we are fighting to stay above this channel support where Ethereum has been a very good performing asset. And we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we are above the 65,000 Satoshi level. We saw a major bullish engulfing candle with weekend manipulation here taking us below this major support, and right now it looks like Ethereum could potentially be the better asset to be holding. Once again, a lot of people are saying altcoin season is over. I don't think that's the case. And we look at the total cryptocurrency market cap chart on the weekly chart right now, the bulls are fighting to get back above home base. This is extremely important. I think a lot of this will have to do with what Bitcoin decides to do, being that it is over 40% of this market, but we are starting to see the early signs of a potential rescue operation, and we also have this potential inverse head and shoulder pattern forming, whatever you want to call it. Once again, market structure is just one aspect of trading, but when we look at this weekly chart, we need to reclaim this total cryptocurrency market cap above the 20-week moving average in the next 7 days. When this weekly candle closes, this could be a whole different type of candle in a couple days. And so I want to talk about the environment right now when we look at traditional markets, because that's going to have a direct correlation to what happens to the cryptocurrency market. And right now we're seeing a ton of puzzle pieces with the DXY right now testing a major support level. But remember, we want to see calmness on this chart, and that allows an environment conducive to assets seeing continued price discovery. And so far, every traditional market looks bullish. So we look at the S&P 500. If traditional markets continue further up, that's a very positive environment for the cryptocurrency market. So we're still above this monthly open, previous weekly open, and weekly open with the S&P 500. And here's the huge aspect of traditional markets that I want to talk about today. We look at the traditional markets in China up over 3% today, seeing a major push to the upside. And a lot of what's happening in the cryptocurrency market with the fundamentals and the FUD, with China banning Bitcoin trading and so forth, are we seeing money move into the traditional markets in China and even potentially gold, which we're going to also take a look at, because we're seeing price action to the upside, and we always want to follow the money. And you guys know here on the Snipers channel, we're really good at spotting where the money is flowing, because we don't just look at one market, we look at all markets because they are all correlated. And so we're going to look into more of the smaller time frames here for Bitcoin. As for those tuned into the Snipers channel, you know everything morphs from the smaller time frames into the larger time frames. We have a lot of puzzle pieces on the table today. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Let's see if we can hit 400 likes on this video. We hit 300 on our video 2 days ago, so that's amazing. I want to first talk about what's happening to Bitcoin, because the bears are fighting the bulls right now, trying to prevent Bitcoin from getting above the 200-day moving average on the daily chart, sitting right at that $40,000 big even. And so at this point, we are in a no trade zone. Of course, for those that have been tuned into our channel, we took our entries when Bitcoin dipped below 35,000. And so you're either in profits right now or you're in a no trade zone, because at this point, in order for us to assume a successful rescue operation for Bitcoin, we are 70% there. And I say that because the weekly open came right at that $34,800 level. And that was not a coincidence. We saw weekend manipulation take us below 34,800. And we know we don't want to break 34,000 34,800 for Bitcoin, because if we break 34,800, then that opens the door to 24,000 US dollars. And so that downside there is about 30 more percent to the downside. We don't want to see 35,000 break is the point, because we have confluence now with a major support level at 34,800. That's the weekly open now. And so if we start to see a garden variety retest of the weekly open, we have to be extremely cautious and start to look into the hourly and 4-hour candles to see whether or not we are going to start closing hourly and 4 hours below 34,800. If we start to see that, in my opinion, that opens the door for us to see 24,000 US dollars. Is this the most likely scenario? I don't believe so. As an umpire, I believe we've bottomed out. We look at the 6-hour chart. Notice here how we saw a lot of buy volume in this pocket. You guys know I've been talking about this bottoming out. And so at this point, it is totally garden variety market behavior for us to be seeing a relief rally right now as we're trying to come up and get above a major level here at the 200-day moving average and that $40,000 level. At this point, since we are in this no trade zone, if we get above this 200-day moving average, we really just need to get above 42,500, the previous weekly open, and that opens the door to see 50,000 US dollars again, because I don't believe that $44,800 level will be too much of a roadblock if we're able to see the bulls get the price above the previous weekly open. It opens up the door for a lot more volume to come in. And so at this point, above 40,000 is the signs that the rescue operation is now 80 to 90% complete, and it will be 100% complete above 41,950. And right now we're 70% there. Now, the only concern I have is if we come down to this weekly open and we break this level, that would be the sign to bail out of ship at 34,800 for Bitcoin. So an extremely important consolidation range that we're in right now. And this is going to determine what happens to Ethereum, to the total cryptocurrency market. But I do want to talk about what's happening to Ethereum, because it looks like Ethereum might be the better asset right now. And that might be against a lot of people's opinion, because people are saying, oh, altcoin season is over. Well, we look at what's happening to Ethereum right now. We're inside of this channel where it's always been a fair value for Ethereum, where we've seen consolidation and healthy price action. And so it's always been good to be in Ethereum while we're inside this channel, and it's always been good to buy Ethereum when we come below this channel. And so as long as we maintain this channel right here, right around that $2,500 level, I think Ethereum is showing the early signs that it wants to show more strength than Bitcoin, because we're above the 65,000 Satoshi level. As long as we stay above that, we already are on the way to 77,000 Satoshis as we speak right now. So we want to continue to monitor this. Below 65,000 Satoshis is when I'd have concerns for Ethereum. Above 65,000 Satoshis as we are right now, I believe it will be the stronger asset regardless of what happens to Bitcoin. As you guys know, we were watching Maker, for example, and when we talk about altcoins, let's look at this total cryptocurrency market cap chart. You can see we saw weekend manipulation and retest of this 200-day moving average. Very different picture than Bitcoin. Realize that. Bitcoin is below the 200-day moving average. That's a very positive thing for the overall market. We're above the weekly open, and also notice here on the weekly chart is really where we're seeing the bulls and bears fight at that $1.6 trillion level that we've been talking about here on the Snipers channel. We want to get above this 20-week moving average, because if we do, this could be a very garden variety market retest in an extremely bullish rally of home base at this 20-week moving average before seeing continued highs on the macro. And so we're in a point in the micro timeframes that we're seeing a very decisive decision being made for Bitcoin in the macro. And so it's going to be extremely important to monitor this total cryptocurrency market cap chart. We just don't want to get back below this weekly open at $1.4 trillion and come down to this 200-day moving average, but we really want to see it above that $1.6 trillion level, which we were already starting to see wicks. And so the weekly candle has already claimed the 20-week moving average and home base for this week. The real concerns will come if we ever close below this 20-week moving average at $1.6 trillion for the total cryptocurrency market cap. But so far, the environment still looks extremely prime for altcoins. We look at the others dominance chart. Notice here how we're seeing a garden variety market retest of a over 4-year support level here, which was previous resistance. We know that always turns into previous resistance turns into future support. And so right now for this others dominance chart, as long as we're above 12.2, I believe that we're still in altcoin season. I don't believe that we could claim that we're in a bearish phase of altcoins when we're still way and above this 20-week moving average at home base. A garden variety retest of that is not a bad thing. And so I'm still confident with altcoins. As a matter of fact, I'm more confident in Ethereum than Bitcoin right now, as you guys just heard. And we look at Bitcoin dominance below the weekly open, below the monthly open. Doesn't look to me like we're seeing any signs of a recovery or reversal way in below the 20-week moving average, unlike others' dominance, which is way and above it. And so here in the Snipers channel, we wait for confirmations. People can give their opinions. They can be Bitcoin fanatics, Ethereum fanatics. We're just going to give it to you how it is. And so remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, by the way. And if you want to win one of my favorite books on investing principles by Ray Dalio, comment your favorite altcoin in the description or below in the comments, and I will pick one of you guys in tomorrow's video. And I want to talk about what's happening in traditional markets. We want to follow the money, right? We're always looking at every market that affects the cryptocurrency market. And so we look at commodities like gold, silver, oil, right? We also want to look at traditional markets, not just S&P 500, but the largest international market, Japan. We look into China. We look into the Euro 100, right? And so understand that right now, if we're looking to see where is the money flowing, and as we head into Q3, Q4, we want to know where are the institutions hedging their bets. And right now, gold, obviously bullish breakout right now. And we look at what's happening to the Chinese traditional markets, or the traditional markets in China. We're seeing continued upside back above all three moving averages on the daily chart. Is that a puzzle piece that we're seeing outflow from crypto into traditional markets? It could be, because a lot of people are talking about the China FUD. That could be affecting the markets in China. And so are we seeing money flow into gold and traditional markets as a hedge against crypto right now? That could be the case. People may be taking some profits. We look at the Shanghai Composite, same deal. We're seeing push to the upside. Euro 100 still on a very bullish uptrend above all moving averages, and the S&P 500, as I've mentioned from the start of this video, very bullish, and the DXY very calm right now. That's a great environment for the cryptocurrency market to continue to price discovery. So the way that we predicted the top for Bitcoin was this gold to Bitcoin chart. You can see still on the way down. And so we're seeing some money flow into different places right now. Not a big deal. I don't think it's a big concern for the total cryptocurrency market cap. But for Bitcoin, once again, this does have an effect on the overall valuations of all cryptocurrencies because it's such a big aspect of the market. Right now, we're in an extremely critical range, snipers. And I want you to monitor this $40,000 level and this $34,800 level. We are in a no trade zone because we don't know, is this going to come down or is this going to break out? Because Bitcoin is in a very interesting position, but I don't believe that is a concern for altcoins. We look at Maker, for example. We talked about this on our videos yesterday. We are back to the prices from the monthly open. And so Bitcoin is definitely not there. Very different scenario here with the monthly open way and below current price action. So even though we saw this dip, some altcoins came all the way back to the pre-dip levels already. So that's why I'm telling you, don't fall for the trap that altcoin season is over. There's a lot of positive use cases in the decentralized finance space, a lot of infrastructure projects starting to see momentum, and there's a lot of potential in this market. So with that, I appreciate each and one of you snipers tuned into our channel. I want to pick a giveaway winner for Principles by Ray Dalio. If you want to win this book, once again, just comment below and share this video here, and I will go ahead and choose. Let's see here. A lot of spam comments. Always be careful for the spam comments. JR says, I think this is the week for BTC. Send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And by the way, I'm going to be at Bitcoin Miami June 3rd to June 5th. If you want to attend and be there with Michael Saylor, Jack Dorsey, Tony Hawk, a lot of my friends will be there, like Jeremy Gardner, Charles Hoskinson, Brock Pierce. The link is in the description below. I'd love to see you guys there. Bitcoin Miami, June 4th to June 5th. I'll also be hosting a meet and greet dinner, so I'll give you guys more details on that soon. And with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. I appreciate each and one of you guys. I couldn't do this without you. And until next time, Snipers